Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to program Pac-Man on your Ti-84 Plus CE calculator. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you guys might think you need to do is you might need to press program, but we're actually not going to do that yet. We're actually going to go to the matrix. So we're going to press second and then X-1 to access the matrix menu. And we have to make a matrix in order to play Pac-Man, because Pac-Man requires a matrix. You guys will know what I mean in a few seconds here. So I'm gonna go and press, you're gonna go to edit, and then you're gonna go to matrix B. Okay, we're not gonna edit matrix A, we're only gonna edit matrix B. And then when it asks you what the array is gonna be, we're gonna say it's gonna be 19 by 19. And then 19. And this is going to be the 19 by 19. That's how big the Pac-Man board, that's how big, like, you know, the Pac-Man square is going to be. So what we have to do is we have to set all of these numbers from 0 to numbers 1 and 3. So at least I'm going to go through the first couple of rows with you guys, and then I'm going to post either something on the screen or something in the description on the rest of the matrices, matrix values, so you guys know. And if we don't do the matrix values, Pac-Man is just going to be a boring blank game. There's not going to be anywhere to play. So essentially a matrix, it's going to be the map of the Pac-Man game. So yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to go through the first one with you guys so you guys know what to do, and then I'm going to post the rest of it on the screen / in the description. Alright, so we're going to go, so 1 1, as you guys can see, is going to be 3 here. And it's going to be 3 all the way across until we get to 110. And then it's going to be 1. And then it's going to be 3 all the way till the 19. There we go. Alright, now we are on row 2. So now it's going to be 3, and then 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3. Alright, and then row 3 is going to be all 3s. And then row 4 is going to be 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 3, 1. Alright, so if you did it right, you should have a 19 by 19 array with a bunch of 1s and 3s and occasional 2s in the actual matrix. This took me about I would say roughly 5 minutes, because I went really fast. For you guys, it might take, you know, it depends on the person. It might take longer or shorter for you. But now we're actually going to get to the programming of the actual game now for Pac-Man. So yeah, sit back, relax, and type on your calculator. So we're going to press this PRGM button for program. We're going to scroll over to new. You're going to press enter to create new. And I'm going to call this Pac-Man CE. There we go. And then press enter once it's named. And the first command, if you guys have watched one of my last videos, first command I always like is the clear home command. So you're going to press program, and this time you're going to get a different list. And you're going to scroll over to I/O, and you're going to press number 8. Or you can scroll down and press enter. And there's clear home for you. So now press enter. And the next command is called input. So press program, scroll over to I/O. That stands for input output. You're going to press enter. And you're going to type quotes, which is alpha and the plus sign. And then you're going to type speed. I'm going to put on alpha lock, so second alpha for alpha lock. So you're going to type speed like that. And then you're going to type open parenthesis 1 minus and then INF for infinity. At least, you know, you can make whatever you put in the quotes, you can make it whatever you want. So now you're going to do colon, at least that's what I'm doing, close parenthesis, and then the quotes. Whatever you put in between these quotes, that's what's going to show up on the actual screen. So I did speed 1 through infinity colon, and then that's the closing quote. So whatever is in here, that's what's going to actually display on the screen. You're going to press comma, and then you're going to press P. So watch this. So if I press second mode to exit the editor, if I press program and scroll down to Pac-Man-CE and press enter and then enter, it's going to say that now. It's going to say speed 1 through infinity, and then if I type 1 and press enter, there we go. That's the end of the program, but that's at least what it does. So yeah, let's go back to edit. Let's go back down to Pac-Man-CE. Alright, so now press enter to make a new line. And now we're going to use the max command. So we're going to press second. I think we're just going to press math. Don't press second, I'm sorry. And then scroll over to, let's see. Scroll over to number, and then scroll down to number 7, which is max. And then 1, comma, P, store P. Essentially, what this is saying is that if the user chose a number that's less than 1, it's actually going to set it to 1. If it's higher than 1, then it's just going to stay the same. So like if I set the value to like -20, it's going to set it to 1. That's what the max command does. It chooses between 2 numbers, and it it puts it at, and then the store command, what that does is the store. So the next command is called the max command. We're going to go to math and then scroll over to number. And then press 7. And then type in 1, and then comma is right above the 7 here. If I missed that already. 1, comma, and then P, and then store, which is this STO button right here, like that. It's right above the on button, and then P. And what this does is that if the user chooses a number that's less than 1, it's actually going to set it to 1. The max command, so let's say it takes the 2 numbers and it compares them. Whatever number is higher, it's going to set it to that. So you can also do close parenthesis and then store P, but it does save a byte of memory if you delete this, because the store command actually closes all parentheses right before it. So yeah, we don't need the closing parenthesis on there. And then now we're going to do matrix, and yours should say 19 by 19. If you skip through the video, you should go back and rewatch that part. Press enter, and then store, and then matrix A, and then press enter. And then now do clear home again. So program I/O8 for the clear home command. Press enter, and now we're going to do the clear draw command. So press second program, and this is the draw screen. We're going to press 1 for clear draw, or press enter. Press enter again. And then now we're going to go to, let's see here. And then press second zoom for format. And we're going to say store. And then press second program for draw. And then go over to store, the STO, and then press enter for store GDB. What this does is it stores the graph settings, and we're going to store it into the 0. There's actually 10 different, you can store 10 different graph settings. So we're just going to store this one into setting 0, which is, the first setting, of course. And then we're going to say axes off. So we're going to go to second zoom for format, and we're going to say axes off. Press enter on there. Press enter. And then we're going to say background on 12. So we're going to say background on, and then 12. What that background on 12 is the black background. So press enter. And then we're going to store -5 into X minimum. So we're going to say store right there. And then we're going to go to window. Oh, nope, that's not right. Don't do what I just did. Alright, so we're going to go -5. If you don't know where the negative is, it's right next to the decimal right there. -5 and then store. And then when I say X minimum, we have to go into vars right here, which is variables. And then press enter for window. And for x minimum, press enter. There we go, -5 x minimum, press enter. And we're gonna say -20 for y minimum, so -20 store vars, enter, and then y minimum is 4, press enter. We're gonna say 25 store x max, so store, and then vars, enter, 2, enter, and then 0 store y max. We're gonna say 4, so press program. We're gonna go to press number 4. We're using the for command. Essentially what the for command does is it takes a variable. In this case, we're gonna say variable f, press comma. The second parameter is the starting point of that variable, so we're gonna set f to -5, press comma for the third parameter, and then 25. So essentially what it's gonna do, what the for command does, is it's a bit different. It's like a store command, but it's in a loop. So the for, it's gonna take f, it's gonna set f to -5, and it's actually gonna have f run by increments up by 1 all the way until it hits 25. So essentially, if we do the math, f is going to run roughly about 30 times. It might be 31 times, but it's gonna run 30 times because f is -5, and then it's actually going to store, it's every time that the loop runs, so it's going to add 1 to f every single time. So f is actually going to go through 30 variables all in this line here. All right. But what we want to do is that anything underneath here, it's actually going to repeat that. So press enter a couple times and press program, and then go down to number 7, which is end. Anything in here, so anything between the for line and the end line, any of the code in between is actually going to get run 30 times in this case. So if we change this to 30, then it's going to get run 35 times, you know, etc. So, but for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it at 25. So we're going to say point on. So we're going to press second program for draw. We're going to go to points, press enter, press for point on. We're going to say f, comma, 0, comma, 2, comma, and then press program, scroll over to color, and press enter for blue. There we go. So essentially what this is doing is that it's putting a point on the screen, and it's the parameters. So f, of course, is going to be the x. That's going to be the y. So it's going to be, so when the first time this for loop runs, it's going to put a point on at -5, 0, the coordinates -5, 0. The third parameter is the point type. So when we actually go later in this video, you'll actually see that number 2 stands for, like, it's like a little square instead of an actual dot, and then the color blue. So press program, and actually no, I'm sorry, press second program, scroll over to points. We're going to do another point on. We're going to do f, comma, -20, comma, 2, comma, and then blue. Program, and then blue. There we go. So there's that for you. And then press enter. And then we're going to do another for loop. This time we're going to do a nested for. Essentially what that means, it's a for loop inside of a for loop. I know it gets kind of complicated, but bear with me here. So we're going to press program. We're going to do for. And then we're going to do, let's see here, f. So now now since this loop ended, we can use f again. All right, so f, -5, comma, 0. So what this is going to do is it's going to store, you know, -5 into f again, and then it's actually going to count up by 1 until it hits 0. So this time, this for loop's only going to run about 5 times actually. And then we're going to do another for loop, so program for. And on this here, we're going to do the variable h. We cannot use f again because f is currently being used by this for loop. And we can use, like I said earlier, we can use f on this one because this for loop already ended. So there we go. H, comma, and then 0, comma, -20, comma, -1. All right, press enter. And we're going to say point on. So draw, and then points, enter. point on, and then I'm going to say F, comma, H, comma, 2, comma, and then blue. So we're going to program, color, enter for blue. There we go. All right, press enter. And then we're going to put 2 end commands to end the for loop. So 7, enter, program, 7, enter. There we go. All right, so now since we're at that point, we're going to do, let's see here, a couple more nested for loops. I know this part's pretty tedious at the top here, but essentially what we're doing is we're drawing the screen. All right, if you guys want to see what we're doing, so actually we can quit the program if you want to see our progress. Program, and then Pac-Man CE, enter, and it's, speed 1. I'm just going to say 1. There we go. So that's what we programmed. And as you can see, when I said the point type, you see how I said it's a little square instead of actual dot? That's what the point type 2 is specifically for this calculator. If I said point type 1, it would be like a dot. But point type 2 on this calculator looks like more of like a square rather than an actual point. So it's just pretty cool. And you can see, the blue. And you can see the nested for loop, it made an array. If you do a nested for loop, that's how I make arrays in this video. So I know that we did a lot of typing, but look at how many dots we did. It would be a lot more code if we had to individually set each one. So yeah, that's kind of like something that's pretty nice on that's why I like nested for loops. Otherwise we would have had to type, what is that, like 30 different, 30 different lines of code just to make that. Instead, we only did 5 lines of code, which is way better. So press clear on here, and then press program. We're going to go back to edit for Pac-Man CE. There we go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do another for loop. So we're going to do program 4, and I'm going to do F, comma, 20, comma, 25, enter, and then 4, H, comma, 0, comma, -20, comma, -1, enter. And this time you can see that I put you can see how these are the same except this, the H1 is the same, is because, so this first nested for loop, how it made those blue lines over here? This nested for loop, we're going to put blue lines on the right side of the screen. So now we're going to say point on, so draw, which is second program, point on, and we're going to say F, comma, H, comma, 2, and then program, and then color blue. Oh, I forgot to put a comma. If you forget to do something, you can press second del for insert, and then you can actually type in the comma. There you go. Alright, so now we're going to say end, and then end. There we go. So these 2 end commands is ending these for loops right here. Alright, now we're going to do one more nested for loop, and this time we're actually going to be drawing the screen, the actual arena now. So we're going to say for F, comma, 1, comma, 19, and then enter, and we're going to say 4 again, H, comma, 1, comma, 19, and this is, you notice that we're using 19. That's also the number that we used for the matrix array. So this nested for loop is going to be drawing that array that we typed in earlier on the screen now. So now we're going to say matrix A, open parenthesis, H, comma, F, and then close parenthesis. Oh, actually, we can just, instead of close parenthesis, we can press store, and then we can say I right here. So the matrix A value HF is, we're going to store that into I. So with the first time this for loop runs, it's going to say matrix A 1 1 I, and then the second time it's going to say 1, and then it's going to be, let's see, 2 1 I, 3 1 I, and then all the way until it hits 19 19. So it's a lot. The calculator's doing a lot behind the scenes. And then we're going to say program enter for if, and we're going to say I, So we're gonna say, you know, alpha, and then it's that x squared. If I equals, and we're gonna say second math, which is test, and then press enter. And then we're gonna say 1, press enter. We're gonna do point on, so for draw, point on, F, comma, -1H, 2, comma, and then blue. Awesome, there we go. And then we're gonna say if I equals, so I, and then second math, right here for the equals, enter 3, press enter. We're gonna say point on, so draw, point on, and then we're gonna say F, comma, -1H, comma, 1, comma, and then white, so program color, and then we're gonna scroll all the way down to white, which is A. There we go. Press enter, and we're gonna end these, so 7, enter, program 7. So now we are at, let's see, we're about a third, we're probably about a third, maybe a quarter through the program now, and we have successfully drawn. Now after this, it's all going to be gameplay, but for this, so if we quit the program and you want to see what it does, press program, scroll down to Pac-Man CE, press enter, and then enter, and then I'm just going to say 1, enter. It's going to draw the borders, and then it's going to draw the actual arena now. Look at that. Doesn't that look absolutely amazing? And that is because we set the matrix values. Yeah, look at, isn't that just absolutely really cool? I would say good job to that. I would say if you didn't even get to any of the gameplay, that still looks really cool. It looks like a full-on Pac-Man screen. And if you're wondering why we can't, you know, extend the Pac-Man screen outwards anymore, is because on the Texas Instruments calculator, the largest an array can go is 20 by 20. And I would, earlier I did try to do like 25 by 20 and stuff like that, but it just wouldn't work out. And 19 by 19, since it's an odd number, it actually makes it look perfect. You know, like a perfect, like, you know, everything is centered around this one dot in the middle. That is why I chose the odd number of 19 instead of 20. And that's why I can't go any more than 20, or, you know, 19 in this case, is because the Texas Instruments won't let you make a matrix any bigger than 20 by 20. So, you know, I can't, you know, we can't use the borders, so we just kind of drew them there. So yeah, that's why we had to do that. So yeah, let's go back to edit. You guys can take a coffee break if you want, and let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. Alrighty, welcome back. We are now in part 2 of the video. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to store some variables, and then we're also going to be able to program some gameplay now. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to store about 5 variables, 6 variables over the next few lines. Here we go. We're going to do 10 store X, enter, 11 store Y, enter, 10 store V, enter, 7 store W, enter, 0 store L, enter, 0 store S. So as you guys can tell, X and Y is the coordinates of our Pac-Man guy. The 10 and 7 is the coordinates of our ghost, and then 0 is the, I'm making it the losing Boolean, essentially 0 meaning that we haven't lost, and then if L is 1, then it's gonna, you know, send a loss Boolean, and then 0 is 0 store S is gonna be the score. So here we go. Now we're gonna program the while loop. So we're gonna go program, and then 5, and we're gonna say while L equals 0, and then we're gonna say and, so we're gonna go back to this screen here. We're gonna go to logic, and S, and then we're gonna say is less than 190. There we go. Press enter. Now we're gonna have a little for loop. We're gonna press program for, and then we're gonna say T, comma 1, comma P. Oop, not Q, P. There we go. And we're gonna say end. We're gonna end the for loop. Essentially, there's nothing in the for loop. What the for loop is doing is just putting a time delay in our while loop. This is for that speed. When we first open the program, you know how it asks us for the speed. This is what's gonna regulate that speed that we put in. So, all right, and then press enter. All right, and then now we're going to say point on. So we're gonna go to the draw menu, points, point on, X, comma, -1, Y, comma, 2, comma, and then yellow. Oops, program, color, and then yellow. I think it's 0, yeah. There we go. Press enter, and then we're back to the draw screen right here, and then we're gonna say point on, V, comma, -1 W, comma, 2, comma, and then red. There we go. And essentially, I'm pretty sure you guys can guess what this is. This coordinate right here is going to be the Pac-Man, and then this coordinate is going to be our ghost. All right, so now we're gonna say if X equals V and Y equals W, enter, 1 store L. Awesome. So basically we're saying that if the coordinate of our Pac-Man is the same as the ghost, then it's going to put 1 as L, and guess what L is? The losing boolean. That's what's basically going to determine, because right here, you see how it says while L equals 0? Well, if 1 is L, it's going to exit this while loop, and the while loop is the gameplay, so it's basically going to make you lose, because it's going to exit that while loop. Alright, now, I'm going to say 0 store G, enter, and then we're going to say get key G. And the reason why I had 0 s stored as G right before I have get key, I have noticed without this line here, I've noticed that there's a bug in the game where it's like sticky keys. It's where like there's phantom key presses and it's like not your fault. So this 0 store G just kind of clears off that G variable. And the G variable determines which direction your ghost is going. So, alright, here we go. If G is greater than 0, enter, we're going to say then, we're going to say point on, X, comma, -1 Y, comma, 2, comma, and then black, enter. And then we're going to say point on X, comma, -1 Y, comma, 1, comma, and then black. Essentially what it's doing is it's, the reason why we have 2 of these, we have each one for each of the points. So point type 2 and point type 1, we're going to both turn it black. So essentially the entire spot is going to turn black. And then we're going to say if matrix A of Y X equals 3, enter S plus 1S, which essentially, you know, adds 1 to the score. And then we're going to say 2 store matrix A, and then Y, comma X. Oops. And essentially what that's doing is it's, you know, putting 2 in the coordinate of the actual, where the Pac-Man is at, so that it knows that the food is gone. So, alright, now we're going to say if G equals 24 and X is greater than 1, enter. We're going to say then, enter, and then if matrix A, Y, comma, X minus 1, close parenthesis, is not equal to 1, enter, X minus 1 store X. There we go, enter. I'm going to say end, enter, and then we're going to say if G equals 26 and x is less than 19, enter. We're going to say then, enter, if matrix A, open parenthesis, y, x plus 1 doesn't equal 1, enter, x plus 1 store x, there we go. We say end, and then we're going to say if g equals 25 and y is greater than 1, we're going to say then if matrix A of y minus 1 x doesn't equal 1, y minus 1 store y. Alright, and then the next line is going to be an end, so press program and then 7 right there. And then if g equals 34 and y is less than 19, then if matrix A of y plus 1 x doesn't equal 1, enter, y minus 1 y, enter, and then, 30, that one is, let's see, that one is y plus 1, not minus, because the minus was on that one. And we're going to say end. Awesome. And then we're going to say point on of x, comma, negative 1 y, comma, 2, comma, and then yellow. There we go. And we're going to say end. There we go. And then now we are going to do math. Press the math button. And then go over to probability. I'm going to do random integer. So number 5, rand int. 1, 2, paste. And then we're going to delete this one right there because that's going to be a close parenthesis, slows down the program. And then we're going to say if ans equals 1. I'm going to say then. I'm going to say if x is greater than the, enter, 1 store O, enter, if x is less than v, negative 1 store O, enter, if y is greater than w, enter, 1 stored p, enter, if y is less than w, enter, negative 1 stored p, enter, and then end. Essentially, the last 8 lines, that is the Ghost AI getting programmed. So it's basically the program is throwing a number between 1 and 2. If the random number is 1, then the ghost is going to move or change direction. And then all of this stuff, the G stuff, that's the arrows. So G equals 24, that's this arrow key. So get key is a command to where every single button on our calculator actually has a value. So the get key value of this is 24, the up arrow is 25, the right arrow is 26, and the bottom arrow is 34. Hence why we use 24, 26, 25, and 34 on this program. And the reason why I have these little, y is less than, greater than, and then right here, x is less than, x is greater than, is to make sure that the ghost isn't going to go off the side of the screen. And then right here, the reason why we have this, and then we're saying, then if the y coordinate x minus 1 is to make sure that this, our Pac-Man won't run into an actual wall, or won't go on top of a wall. So that's what all that stuff is. Awesome. Alright, so now, and if you want a more detailed description, if I get enough comments on it, if you guys are interested to, dive real deep into like the meaning of the program, I can make a follow-up video, on the source code if you guys want it. Put in the comments if I get enough of you guys, I'll probably do it. Alright, so we're gonna say point on, so we're gonna go to draw, point on V, comma, -1W, comma, 2, comma, black, enter, and then I'm going to say if P equals -1 and W is greater than 1, enter, we're going to say then, and then we're going to say if matrix A of W minus 1 V doesn't equal 1, enter, we're going to say then, W minus 1, store that back into W, and then we're going to say else 1 stored P, and we're going to have 2 ends right here. That's to end the nested if statement. And then we're going to say if O equals 1 and V is less than 19, then if matrix A of W V plus 1, oops, whoa, what are you doing? Plus 1 doesn't equal 1, then, then V plus 1, store that back into V, enter, and then I'm going to say else, enter, -1 store O, enter, and then I'm going to, end the nested if loop again, and then we're going to say if P equals 1, if P equals 1, and W is less than 19, enter, then if matrix A of W plus 1 V doesn't equal 1, then W plus 1 W and then we're going to say else, else, -1 stored P, enter, and I'm going to end that. And then we're going to say if O equals -1 and V is greater than 1, then if matrix A of W V minus 1 doesn't equal 1, enter, then V minus 1 store V, enter, and I'm going to say else 1 store O, enter, and then we're gonna do, you know, end those again. Alright, and we're gonna say point on of V -1W 2 and then red. And then we're gonna say end. There we go. All right, so that is actually, this ends that while loop. So now this is done with the gameplay. So we're pretty much actually towards the very end of the program. So if you guys are wondering what I just typed all in, I can explain it to you guys here. All right, so of course this is the actual ghost. And this is the movement of the ghost, as you guys can see. So V, you know, essentially it's doing the same thing as I did. So it's saying that to make sure the ghost won't run out of the screen, and to make sure the ghost won't run into a wall. It's a tongue twister, my goodness. All right, so now we're gonna say point. Oh, no. We're gonna say text color. So it's under, pretty sure it's under draw. Here we go, text color. And then we're gonna say orange. There we go. And we're gonna say if S is greater than or equal to 191, enter. And then we're gonna say text, so draw, and then text 10, 10, and then you win. Enter. And then we're gonna say if S is less than 191, enter. We're gonna do the same thing, text 10, 10, and then this time we're actually gonna say game over, because you know, essentially if the score is not met, then that means they got hit by the ghost and lost. So, and then if you want to know where the exclamation is, it's under math, probability, and right here. It's the factorial symbol, but I'm using it for the exclamation. Press program, and then 8 for pause right there. All right, so we're going to go to the draw. We're gonna go to store. We're going to go to recall GDB, and then we're just gonna say 0. And then actually right here, if you want to insert a line, so if you want to hover over recall GDB, do insert and then press enter, that's how you insert a line. Zoom, and then we're going to say Z standard right here. There we go. So essentially what this is doing is it's, you know, resetting it back to the standard. It's recalling it back to the to that setting. And then if you want to insert one more line, we'll change the background color back to white. So if you want to go back to format and then just say background off. There we go. So that's basically the end of the program. And then you can just press clear home. We can throw in a clear home. Essentially what that's going to do, oop, that's not it. That is also not it. There we go. That's going to put us back onto the home screen. So after the program ends, it's essentially just going to be, you know, like nothing really ever happened. If you want to so we are essentially done with the program. If you want to make it easier to leave the program mid-game, we're going to add one thing into the program here. All the way up here. Into the wild. Oh, nope, we went too far up. This is optional, completely optional, but we're gonna say we're gonna insert something right here. Oh, actually no, let's do this. We're gonna insert a line right here. We're gonna say if G equals, and then 30, 40, 45. That's actually the for the clear. That's for the clear key. If G equals 45, so that means as if clear is pressed, we're gonna say one stored out, and essentially it's gonna end the game early if you press clear. So yeah, there we go. All right, so we're gonna go to program. Pac-Man CE, and let's see if it runs. See if I made sure. And 1 is the fastest speed. Let me be clear on that one. Infinity just means you can make it as high as you want, but the program's gonna run really slow. So the higher the number, the slower the game is gonna run. All right, here's the gameplay. Let's see if it works. Okay, so there's the ghost down there.